Well, with my history of these live action remakes, I can proudly say this one is okay. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm not doing a solo review finally, so I'm kind of happy about that. But we're here to talk about two movies today. We're talking about this one today, and then we're gonna do Across the Spider-Verse, which will be uploaded tomorrow. So we're gonna get the lesser one done first because this one more fresh in my mind. I saw this earlier this week in my attempt to catch up with just a long fucking list of movies I haven't seen. And right off the bat, it feels warranted just to go with my history of the Disney live action remakes. Those have been longtime viewers of the channel knows. On average, I hate them. I hate them so much. There's They're really bad. They're like most of them are really bad. I think the only one I kind of liked was Pete's Dragon. But like didn't like Cinderella, didn't like Beauty and the Beast. Hated Beauty and the Beast.
I
Hated
hated that one
Aladdin.
too.
Mulan
I,
sucked. Um, I didn't see Lady and the Tramp. I didn't see Lady and the Tramp because that was a Disney Plus exclusive one. I was like, fuck no, I'm not watching that. If I don't have to watch a goddamn live action Disney remake, I'm not going to. And I guess now they're doing Lilo, Stitch, and Moana. I was like, oh, great, okay, fine, fine. Make me watch more of these goddamn things. Um, but, but that being said, I didn't hate this one, so that is a sign. There are parts about it I fucking hated, but I didn't hate it on the whole. Um, your thoughts?
so my experience with the remakes so far have been I I I really liked the 2015 Cinderella. That was the first one they did, and
Mm.
by my estimations, really the only one that they did a better than okay job at.
Mm-hmm.
I like Pete's Dragon. I didn't really have a big attachment to the original.
Which is probably why I was okay with the remake, honestly. But
Yeah. Um, I oh
all right, sorry about that, everybody. A lot going on tonight. So yeah,
yeah,
you were talking about your experience of the reboots or the remakes,
yes.
whatever you want to call it.
Um, so I didn't really have as much of an attachment with the original Pete's Dragon, which is why I enjoyed the Pete's Dragon remake.
Yeah, I think it's why I liked it too, because like, who gives a fuck about the original?
I I thought the Jungle Book remake was okay.
I
I
completely forgot about it until you just mentioned it. Honestly,
I hated and still hate the 2017 Beauty and the Beast remake.
because it fucking sucks. It
It,
fucking
it
sucks.
it does. I don't know how it has fooled so many people, but
Yeah,
you can go back and watch our review of that on the channel. Um, and after seeing that, I purposefully avoided all the other remakes
fair.
up until this one. I didn't see Dumbo, I didn't see Lady and the Tramp, I didn't see last year's Pinocchio, I didn't see Mulan or
I forgot about
Aladdin.
Dumbo. Dumbo was
Uh,
fucking weird.
uh, so there were a lot that I avoided, but I thought this one looked okay,
Mm-hmm.
and and I saw it, and I will admit to enjoying it. Its greatest strength and asset is its leading lady, Halle Bailey. This
Yeah,
is her film. This is her star making showcase of from the perspective of somebody like myself who has not been very well acquainted with her earlier career.
yeah.
Uh, and unlike other live action Disney princesses that you can go back and watch us discuss,
Yeah.
Halle Bailey can actually sing.
Yeah,
What a concept!
I know, right?
Casting the best person for the role.
Well, we'll
Wow.
talk about that with a different character, but let's not look into that in a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
uh, so I really liked her.
no, Haley
I
Bailey's great. Just gonna word in edgewise before we move on to the next topic because this is definitely the big sticking point. I feel like what's gonna make or break this film for a lot of people.
Yes.
Um, And I'm not going to address the dumb fuck controversy of the whole race swap thing. If that really bothers you, touch grass, go get a fucking life. Uh, get upset about things that actually fucking matter. But no, Haley Bailey is fantastic in this movie. She really does is easily the best part of it. She
Yes,
does feel right for this role. She has a beautiful voice. She makes these songs work. She has the characteristics of Ariel pretty well down. I do think she was the best choice for this role. Um,
absolutely, absolutely.
so
So that
apropos of all my other complaints about this film, rest assured that honestly, I want to say 85 to 90% of the reason why I think the movie's okay is because of her.
yes.
If it was not for her, I probably would have fucking hated this movie too. But we'll get to other reasons what I didn't like later. But anyway, keep going.
So uh, she is by by far the best part of this film. I liked that they gave Prince Eric more character and backstory, and he actually has a parent. So that that is a deviation from the animated version that I, as a viewer, appreciated.
Yeah,
Um,
I was kind of a hit and miss. I'm just gonna address these while you bring them up because it seems like the most convenient way to just tackle all of it at once.
okay,
Um, But on the parent side though, yeah, okay, it makes sense to give her a parent. I get why they did that. I like the Prince Eric character overall. They found a very charismatic actor to play him.
yes,
It's okay, he has charisma, he has more character. I like that works fine. I did find
he has good chemistry with Halle Bailey.
yep, he does. So it's okay, that works fine. That works. That works. That's the important part for aspect of it. I did find his parent a little ridiculous in some capacity because they're really trying to hammer home the nationalist themes from the from the original cartoon. And they kind of do it in a way that is just sounds silly and never stops sounding silly. Um, because the mom's whole thing in this movie is that she's terrified of the sea gods and she's convinced the sea gods are deliberately destroying their ships and stuff like that. Meanwhile, you got the actual sea gods and they don't give a shit. They actively
and
don't
they
care.
and they think the landlubbers suck. So
Yeah, but they don't. There's not a conspiracy theory of the landlubbers destroying their oceans like that. They're just those fucking littering assholes is basically what it boils down to for the sea people. Which, yeah, sure, that makes sense. I can get behind that.
yes,
What annoys me is there's one part in particular that made me chuckle where she starts Eric, you can never go back out there. The sea gods are after us. They're torturing. They're crashing our ships. They're taking away our people. They want to they're taking back our land and all those kind of things. And then Eric says that's don't be that sounds ridiculous. And she goes, is it? And I'm yes. Yes, it is.
that my my point that's fair. My point is that a minor improvement or difference from the 1989 animated version was Prince Eric has more character and more lines
He does,
in in
which is which is an improvement.
in,
I do agree
in
with you
this
on
one.
that. Oh,
Not now, babe. I'll call you back. Sorry.
tell him I said hi.
I will.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, Eric has more character in there. I thought the mom character was a little over the top, but stay lovey. Anyway, all right, keep going.
Um, those were the main things I like. Some of the more brightly lit underwater shots are very pretty.
Yeah, there's more
Um,
color in this movie than I expected. Based on the trailers, I was expecting much darker and more dour than what we got. I'm glad that they didn't go that direction. Um,
which does kind of bring me to my first critique. There is more darker cinematography than there, in my opinion, needs to be.
yeah, that's the problem when you go to the more photorealistic version of these ones. This is the problem with the Lion King, and why that movie sucks. Was the more realistic you try to make it, the more you kind of defeat the purpose of it, being a fucking cartoon. Um,
Yes.
and it's no, I don't need my movie about mermaids and singing crabs and sea life to have realistic appearances. It just doesn't. I don't care about realism. In these kind of movies, it always annoys me that they focus so hard on that. And this one doesn't lean into it as hard as The Lion King did.
I
Where
I totally forgot about the Lion King. I didn't even bother seeing that one either.
yeah, it was bad too. Um, but like, and I think this one has a better balance of it. Like Under the Sea still is it's like still has a lot of light and colors, and it has all like
Yes.
the sea life and all. It's like okay, that's cool. Like use this like since you can't do cartoonish appearances, it uses opportunity to demonstrate the various forms of wildlife. That's kind of cool. I like that. Like that's a cool, and I'm a big ocean guy, so I'm always down for anything along those lines. Apparently, mermaids are immune to jelly stings. I didn't know that, but all right.
Well, she was laying on the tops. Remember in Finding Nemo when they're
Yeah, but
bouncing
there's a part where she
on the
literally
water.
grabs one of the tentacles and rides it up. So,
Oh, I forgot.
yep. So that kind of ruins that out of the water. So I just kind of like, I guess mermaids are immune to jelly stains on this universe. All right, sure. Why not?
I
It's
guess.
a kids movie. What do I care? Um,
So now I'm gonna get more into my critiques or the aspects that I didn't
yes.
like as
Let's do it.
much
Let's do it.
or
We've been nice long enough to the fucking Disney shills. Anyway,
so
woke. No, I'm kidding. Uh,
while I I thought most of the voice acting was pretty good. I and Sebastian the Crab does look more accurate or to real life. I
sure.
didn't like the design. I thought it was creepy.
No, I agree.
Uh,
I don't find it creepy, but I find it boring. And I think that's the issue. Again, going back to the issue with going to photorealistic designs, where it's like the designs are ugly and forgettable. And the only one I even kind of remember is like the Aquafina seagull, but that's only because they gave her little like fruffled feathers on top. Um,
Scuttle.
yeah, Scuttle and
Uh,
like Flounder looks boring. Sebastian looks boring. Anything that's a sea creature just looks kind of it looks real, quote unquote, but that doesn't make it interesting. Uh,
and it looks real, but it's rather unspectacular.
yeah,
Uh,
it's completely forgettable. Like
yes.
especially compared to the original designs, and I don't know how you would translate that any other way, but it's like, yeah, it doesn't help it.
No. I mean, I think Flounder was voiced by Jacob Tremblay, who does a good job with the voice acting, but I didn't like looking at this version
No, the
of
designs are
Flounder.
ugly. Uh,
Yeah, the designs are ugly. I there's there are two new songs in this movie,
Three.
and Scuttle. Oh, okay. And Scuttle has one of them, and I could have easily gone without that.
Let's
They could have easily cut that out again, in my opinion.
let's talk about that for a minute because that blew my fucking mind when I watched it. Uh,
How so?
because like I caught the new songs, at least I think I did, because there was like the Prince Eric song, there was a song about
Right,
gravity that Ariel has, and then
the internal monologue song.
there's the third song, which I'll talk about in a bit because I want to build up to this a little bit. Uh, because I was baffled by this choice until I saw the credits. Uh,
Lin-Manuel
no
Miranda.
spoilers, no really get to that. Don't give away my game here.
Sorry,
Oh,
I didn't know that I was.
it's okay. So like the first song they introduced, like okay, Prince Eric has a song, cool. All right, like, Disney wants to get an Oscar for best original song. I get it. Which is entirely why they have those three extra songs in here. Um,
Uh, Filler? I don't know.
no, because they want to be able to pitch this movie into the Oscars for best original song. Um,
Then they should campaign behind the this gravity's bringing me down.
which
Of
yeah, that's easily the best of the three, and that's only because of
yes,
Haley. I can't want to say Barry. Um,
Halle Bailey. My mom did the same
Halle
thing
Berry.
until
Yeah,
I told her that not everybody named Halle has the last name Barry.
I know, just instinct. Haley Bailey. Because of her vocals in the song. But the first one is like Prince Eric's song, who's very much like, I want to find the girl somewhere. Like it's very much like generic landscape sweeping opera, like Broadway song. Like, okay, we've seen this a million times, and it's unintentionally funny when it's like, "I come and find me again." It's like,
Years ago, the nostalgia chick did a review of the '89 Little Mermaid, and she her description of Prince Eric was Prince Eric, putting the Eric in generic.
yeah, pretty much. So like super generic, forgettable song. Like, okay, whatever. It's dumb, but I know why they put it in here. And then you have the song where Ariel comes on land and she sings about like gravity and stuff like that. All right, neat song. Still not amazing, but okay, it's neat. Haley Bailey is a good singer, so anytime they get a chance to use their pipes, I'm okay with it. Which I have a
Yeah,
feeling is why they put that song in there, just because once she loses her voice, she just kind of loses a big chunk of why they cast her. So like,
and on top of having a great voice, she's also an amazing technician. She has tremendous control over her runs and the transitions to the notes.
yeah, she does. And then inexplicably, for no goddamn reason,
So unnecessary.
this movie has a fucking rap song about an engagement.
I say what this can I say what the song title is?
What's the song title?
The Scuttlebutt.
I fucking forgot about that. Uh,
This I mean I loved Aquafina in Crazy Rich Asians.
I go see too. She's a good
Uh,
singer.
and I also enjoyed her in Renfield earlier this year.
Like
I
Redfield, Shang-Chi, The Farewell. She's a good actress.
Yes,
Uh,
she's a good actress, but this is not a good song or music vehicle for her talent.
no, it was terrible song, and I just sat there like, oh, what the fucking Jesus tap dancing Christ am I watching right now? And I kept thinking the rest of the movie was like, why the fuck did they put a fucking rap song in The Little Mermaid? And then I saw the credits, and the first thing is like new songs written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. I was like, oh, of fucking course it is. Of course it is Lin-Manuel Miranda. God fucking damn it. I was like, well, that explains it. That explains why I don't like these new songs. Fuck this movie. No, I'm kidding. I didn't have a strong reaction, but I was like,
Um,
oh, okay,
I
well, there it
I
is.
I will say fuck that scene. That could have easily been cut down,
This
and
movie's
that's
already over 2 hours long. You did not need that shit.
no, we did not. And I I I love musicals in general, and I'm an audiophile. I love a variety of genres, but I did not like this song.
It's a bad song. It sounds bad, and the rhyme is bad, and it's completely unnecessary. And
Yes.
a movie that's already over 2 hours long. Like, Jesus Christ, whose bright idea? Like, this has a "how do you do, fellow kids" kind of vibe to it. Um,
Um,
or
can
there's
I
like, hey, we have Lin-Manuel Miranda, so we have to have one obligatory rap song for no fucking reason, regardless of whether or not it fits. But anyway, sorry, go ahead,
can I go to another
go for it. Yeah, I was
nit
done.
nitpick that I did not see as an improvement?
Okay,
Uh, the performance of King Triton.
I was
Uh,
just gonna bring that up. Yeah, I did not like
uh,
Javier Bardem as King Triton. He never seemed comfortable in the role. He never seemed like
and
he was okay with what he was doing.
unlike the animation work and the voice acting work from the the '89 version, this Triton does not come off as caring or charming um or um or flawed or fearful for his daughter. He comes off as bored, controlling, and overprotective.
Yeah, like even that I feel like is being pretty generous because that implies consistency. But like
Yeah, I just kind of felt like he was phoning it in, or
I
or
don't even say it's phoning it in. He just didn't seem comfortable in it.
and
Like, because I have to imagine he was like head to toe in like CGI dots and shit, and like, and he's done that kind of stuff before, but here he just didn't feel like he knew what he was doing, which is surprising to an actor of Javier Bardem's like credentials or caliber. But no, he just like never seemed okay. Like he just never seemed at ease in this role at any point, and it just feels awkward and stilted. He's not the worst one in this movie though.
No, but he his performance, like I said, is not an improvement over the animated version of his character.
Can we talk about the big one? That's definitely not an improvement over the original version.
Yeah,
Because that's where I got that's where most of my hate went for this movie.
I I I figured I will in my mind she will always be Suki from Gilmore Girls. In my mind, that will always be her best work.
Yeah, agreed. Um,
So
but
go ahead.
fuck Melissa McCarthy. Fuck you very much. Uh, you had Lizzo lined up for this role, and you gave it to fucking Melissa McCarthy, a
I
woman
didn't
who,
know they had Lizzo.
yeah, and it should have gone to her because she would have been a better choice. But instead, we got fucking Melissa McCarthy, who is doing I don't even fucking know what, can't sing, can't act for shit in this movie. She is painful from beginning to end, and they gave her more scenes to try to make it look like she's playing 4D chess this entire time. Despite the fact that what she is in the original cartoon was just a massive opportunist.
Yes,
um, and that's some grand, and they try to give her some whole like tragic backstory, papa kind of thing to it, and it's just terrible. I was miserable every time she was on screen. She had no charisma with anybody. She's trying way too hard to mug at the camera. Her design is ugly. Her like the voice she uses is ugly. Everything about it is ugly, and I hated it. I hated it. It filled me with so much rage. Go ahead.
I will say that the whole sibling part was a thrown away concept of the original version.
Sure.
So they just kind of decided to include it in this one.
Hmm.
Not not saying that I disagree with anything you say. I'm on on this necessarily. I'm just saying on that one point there is a bit of background reason for
Sure.
it.
Fine. Like that's fine. Not a big deal. I'm more interested like and again and going back to the original cartoon because again Ursula is one of my favorite Disney villains. She's still phenomenal to this day.
I
Still
still
holds
love
up.
her villain song
And for
from
like Poor Unfortunate
that,
Souls, the
that
original
version.
version is phenomenal and like a nearly perfect song as far as I'm
Yes,
concerned. Um and the remake for one reason some reason cuts down I guess what was perceived as the more sexist line despite the fact that Ursula is essentially a used car salesman.
yes.
Like a sleazy used car salesman. So that is just absolutely something a sleazy used car salesman would say. But no, here they try to make her like some mastermind. Like, no, she isn't. She just saw an opportunity. She ran with it. She's not constantly stalking people. She's really like, hey, I can make a sale here. Oh, she's got powerful connections. I'm gonna make sure the sale goes through. So that way I can get the big bucks. That's basically Ursula in a nutshell. She's not that complicated of a character. That's kind of what makes her great. Um, is
Sometimes keeping it simple, stupid works.
Yeah, and again, like if Lizzo did this, at the very least, the song would have been better. But again, I don't know what the hell Melissa McCarthy was doing. Like she can't sing. She could tell she's trying to hide it behind like grunts and growls while she's singing, and it
Well,
doesn't work.
in the in the animated version, there is some throaty delivery. So
Except she
I
knew what she was doing. I'm not mad
yes
at the character.
yes I know. So I think what might be at least a part of Melissa McCarthy's error in this performance is that she was trying too hard to impersonate the voice actor and not being able to accomplish that.
I can see an argument in that to a certain extent if it wasn't for the rest of the mugging she was doing. Um, Like Stir the
Yeah.
Sun, I can see that take, I can see that impression, but there's also a lot of scenes of her just kind of mugging and slinking around and making dumb one-liners and kind of just do it.
Which were too gratuitous. They could have been edited out.
They could have, yeah, like those scenes added nothing, made it more painful to watch, and or stretched out again an already 2 hour movie.
Hmm.
And again, trying to portray a character that is not the character. And shit like that annoys me, especially when you're trying to do a one-on-one remake. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know, I fucking hate it. And like, I'm not saying you can do different things with the character, but like, it's one of those things. Either do it or don't. Like either like keep it faithful or do something so dramatic, like do something interesting with it. But don't just add a few bare nothing scenes that could easily be cut to add character when it's not necessary. Um,
it was more caricature than character.
Correct. Yes. Um, yeah, I
Like
did not
like I
like.
said, in my mind, she'll always be Suki from Gilmore Girls. I still think that's her best work.
Um, I never watched Gilmore, Golden Girls, so I can't say. Uh,
Gilmore Girls.
oh, is it Gilmore? Okay, Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls.
Okay.
It was created by the same showrunner and creator who wrote and created the marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's on
Uh,
Netflix if you ever want to give it a try.
anyway, yeah, fuck Liz McCarthy. I hated her before, and I still hate her. Not as a person, I'm sure she's a lovely person. I don't like her. I don't like her acting choices. Um, I know it's a few movies she's done that I haven't seen, so I may be a little judgy in that regard. But it's every movie I've seen her in, I fucking hated. So, uh,
She gave a decent performance in a movie called Can You Ever Forgive Me?
yeah, that's the one people I think Melissa McCarthy fans tell me to watch. I still
Yeah.
haven't forgiven her for Tammy. So, uh,
Tammy looked awful. I didn't bother seeing that.
it was fucking bad. But anyway, enough Melissa McCarthy hate. Was there any other thing we like talk about with this movie that you had in mind? Because that was my big sticking point.
Those I've pretty much gone through the majority of what's stuck out to me. I there are tinier things that I could nitpick or compare, but
I think
quite
you've
frank,
got the basics.
quite frankly, I don't really have the energy, and um I've gotten out the main things that stuck in my mind,
Yeah,
and
I think it's a good place to stop there anyway.
yeah,
Uh,
I will say that this movie is longer than it needs to be.
yeah. So yeah, overall, like I think Haley Bailey makes this movie better than it probably would have been
Yes,
without her.
easily.
And I think the Prince Eric they got is charming enough to carry good chunks of the film. So with those two, I'm willing to give this movie a relative pass. Like I give it a solid 6 out of 10 if I were to give a number to it. But so it's better than a lot of other remakes, but still a lot of stuff I still hate about it. Luckily, the strong stuff is stronger
Yes.
than that. So take that for what it's worth. And do you have any final thoughts you want to throw in there?
For me, I'd probably rate it a little higher. I I will say that I think this is probably the second best remake that they've made that I've bothered to see
Fair enough.
a-
All right.
after the 2015 Cinderella.
Okay. So I think that's all we have to say about this one. So we're gonna hop off this video so we can talk about the movie we actually want to talk about. So thank you all for watching. See y'all tomorrow.